Most folks pick their laying hen off the picture in the hatchery catalog. The prettiest bird, the fanciest name, the one that catches the eye. And that's exactly how a body ends up with a hen that looks grand out in the yard and quits cold on you the first dark week of October. The bird that fills a basket has almost nothing to do with her looks. It's the breed underneath the feathers. I've had near every one of these scratching in my own run at one time or another, and I've buried a few of my own opinions right alongside the birds that taught them to me. So here are 7 laying breeds that actually earn their keep, and the honest catch on everyone, because there's always a catch. Here's the picture I want you to keep in your head the whole way through. A laying hen is a feed faucet with an egg on the far end of it. You turn the feed on, and eggs come out. And the only question worth a nickel is how much egg you get for how long you leave that faucet running. Some birds run the faucet wide open all day and hand you back next to nothing. Some shut it partway themselves by going out and finding their own supper in the grass. And a couple of them turn near every drop you pour into egg. That's the whole business right there. Let's start with a bird whose name is likely why you clicked this. Number 1 is the ISA brown. If you've ever bought a brown egg layer from a farm store, odds are good this was her or a close cousin of hers. She is a hybrid bred over generations for one single job, eggs, and lots of them. A good ISA brown will lay somewhere between 300 and 350 eggs in her first full year. And the best strains push right up toward that big number folks like to put on the front of a video. She starts early too, often laying by 5 months old, when a heritage bird's still growing into herself. She's friendly, she does as at hand, she's about the easiest first layer there is. Here's the honest catch, and it's a real one, so I won't dress it up. That faucet runs hard, and it runs a bird down. An ISA brown lays so heavy that she tends to burn bright and burn out. You'll get 2, maybe 3 strong seasons, and then she drops off quicker than a slower breed would, and the heavy layers can run into trouble in the plumbing that does all that work. She's also no great forager and won't breed true, so you can't hatch her replacements at home. Think of her as the bird that gives you the most eggs the fastest for the least fuss up front, and ask you to bring in fresh stock more often. For a lot of folks, that's a fair trade. Just go in knowing it. And here's the practical trick with a bird like her, so an empty carton never catches you off guard. You stagger them. Instead of buying a dozen all at once and watching them all fade together in the same season, you bring in 3 or 4 fresh pullets every year or 2. That way you've always got young birds coming into their best, laying just as the older ones drop off, and the basket never goes empty on you. That's how the folks who run hybrids keep them working without a gap. They never let the whole flock get old at once. Number 2 is the one that put that big number on the map to begin with, the Australorp. Now let me tell you the honest story behind the headline, because this is exactly the kind of thing that gets stretched, and I'd rather hand it to you straight. Back in the 1920s, in a laying trial over in Australia, a single Australorp hen laid 364 eggs in 365 days. That is a true thing that really happened, and it is where that number you keep seeing comes from. But hear me plain, that was a record. One exceptional hen under trial conditions near 100 years ago. It is not what your Australorp in the backyard is going to do, and any man who tells you different is selling you something. What she will do is lay you a steady 250 or so good brown eggs a year, and do it as pleasant a bird as you'll ever keep. She's a big, glossy, soft-natured hen, calm as a summer evening, wonderful with children. She's cold-hardy, and she keeps laying deeper into the short winter days than most, which is worth more than a headline number when February comes. She forages fair, and she'll go broody and hatch you a clutch when she's a mind to, so she can help make her own replacements. 250 honest eggs from a gentle, hardy, useful bird beats 364 from a bird that wears out most days of the week. Chase the steady hen, not the record. Take a breath here, because number 3 flips the whole thing around and gives you a bird built the opposite way, the white leghorn. If the Australorp is the gentle homesteader, the Leghorn is the hard-working little machine. She lays a white egg, a good large one, 280 to 320 a year of them, and she does it on remarkably little feed. That's her whole gift, and it's a big one. She's a small, light, active bird, so she doesn't burn her feed keeping a big body warm. Near every ounce you give her goes toward the egg. Pound for pound, she is about the most feed-efficient layer you can put in a coop. And she's a champion forager on top of it. Turn a leghorn out on good range and she'll cover a real share of her own diet off bugs and seeds and green tops, shutting that feed faucet partway all on her own. There was a fellow I'll call Ben Swery, kept a flock of leghorns over in Lawrence County, Pennsylvania, and he used to say his white hens were the only birds on the place that ever paid a dividend, because in the green months they half-fed themselves and still filled every carton he had. He wasn't far wrong. The catch with the leghorn is her temperament, and you should know it before she surprises you. She is flighty, she is loud, and she can fly. A low fence is a suggestion to a leghorn, not a wall. She is not a lap chicken and never will be. And that single tall comb of hers can take frostbite in a hard northern winter if her coop's damp and drafty, so she wants a dry, well-vented place to roost. Give her that, keep your fences up, and forgive her the racket, and no bird on this list turns feed into egg cheaper. And since the leghorns are one white egg bird on the list, let me clear up the thing folks argue about most, because you'll hear it wrong 9 times out of 10. The color of the shell tells you nothing about the egg inside it. A brown egg is not richer, not healthier, not one bit better than a white one. That's just the breed's paint, and it's set by the color of her earlobe, of all things. A white leghorn egg and a brown Australorp egg off the same feed are the same egg where it counts. What actually makes a yolk stand up deep orange and rich is what the hen eats, and how much grass and bugs she gets underfoot, not the color of her shell. So pick whatever shell color pleases your eye in the carton, and don't pay a nickel extra for it. And those pretty blue and green eggs you've seen, that's a whole other bird for another day. On Easter Egger, and I'll give her her own video down the road. Number 4 is the bird I'd hand a person who wants one flock to do everything, the Rhode Island Red. The red is the old American workhorse, and she's earned it. A good one lays you 250 to 300 large brown eggs a year. She's tough as an old boot, she forages well, she handles cold, and she keeps laying through the winter better than most heritage birds will. She's a dual-purpose bird, meaning she's got enough body on her to be worth something at the end of her laying days, not just a rack of feathers. She comes in to lay around 5 or 6 months and then just keeps at it year after year without much drama. No folding in the heat, no quitting cold at the first frost. The kind of steady you quit noticing, because it never lets you down. For a family that wants eggs, hardiness, and a bird that doesn't fuss, the red is hard to beat. One honest word, and it's about telling 2 reds apart. There's the old heritage Rhode Island Red, a slower, hardier, longer-lived bird that lays maybe 200 to 250. And there's the modern production, red, bred up closer to a hybrid, that lays more but lives harder and shorter, more like the ISA. Neither's wrong, just know which one you're buying, because the catalog doesn't always say plain. And I'll mention it since folks ask. It's the red roosters that can carry a temper, not the hens. The hens are steady. A cranky red rooster is a separate conversation, and one you can simply choose not to have by keeping hens. Now let me stop here a second, because the next one is the bird I'd put in a beginner's coop over any other, and I want you to hear why. Number 5 is the barred Plymouth Rock, That's the handsome black and white striped hen you've seen in 100 farmyard pictures, and there's a reason she's in all of them. She lays a good 200 to 280 brown eggs a year. She's calm and friendly and patient. She's cold hardy. She's a fine forager, and she keeps a fair number of eggs coming through the winter. She's the bird that won't panic, won't bully, won't fly your fence, and will happily let a grandchild carry her around the yard. If you've never kept chickens before, start here and thank me later. Her catch is a mild one. She's a moderate layer, not a record setter. She'll never outcount a hybrid, and she likes to go broody, which means now and again she'll quit laying to sit on a clutch and try to hatch it. Now that's a nuisance if all you want is eggs, and a gift if you want her to raise you some chicks. Same habit, two ways to see it, depending on what you're after. For most small places, she's about the most forgiving bird you can keep. Number 6 is for anybody who's ever ordered chicks and prayed half of them weren't roosters. The golden comet. The comet's another hybrid, a red sex link, and she's got 2 tricks that make her special. First, she is quick. She often starts laying by 4 months old, earlier than near anything, and she lays you 250 to 320 big brown eggs a year while she's at it. Second, and this is the clever part, she's sex-linked, which means the boys and girls hatch out different colors. You can tell a pullet from a cockerel the day it hatches. So you're not raising a straight-run batch for 4 months only to find half of them are crowing at your bedroom window. For a small place that just wants layers and no surprises, that's a genuine gift. And she is the gentlest, sweetest-tempered bird on this whole list. Her catch is the same as her hybrid kin, so I'll say it once more and mean it. She lays so hard she burns out faster. Figure 2 good years, maybe a bit more, and then she fades, and like the ISA, she won't breed true, so her chicks won't come out like her. She's the bird for the person who wants a lot of eggs, early, from a friendly hen, and doesn't mind bringing in fresh pullets every couple of years to keep the basket full. And number 7 is the one I'd choose if I farmed where the winters bite. The silver-laced Wyandotte. She's a stunner, first off. Every feather edged in black like it was drawn with a pen, and folks keep her for the looks alone. But that's not why she made this list. She made it because of her comb. Where the Leghorn and the rest carry that tall single comb that frosty a hard freeze, Titiatea do low tight rose comb close to her head with almost nothing sticking up to freeze. That makes her one of the best cold country layers there is. She'll keep laying you around 200 good brown eggs a year right through a northern winter that shuts other birds down, and she's a heavy, calm, dual-purpose bird on top of it. Her catch is the flip side of that same coat. All that heavy feathering and cold hardiness that serves her so well in January works against her in a hot, humid August, so she's less the bird for the deep south than for the cold north. And her egg count is moderate, same as the rocks. She trades top numbers for the toughness to lay when it's 10 degrees out. If your trouble is cold, she is your answer. If your trouble is heat, look back up the list to the Leghorn. Now, before I tie this off, let me hand you the plain way I'd actually choose, because 7 birds is a lot to hold in your head at the feed store. Ask yourself 3 questions. First, how hard is your winter? If it's long and cold, you lean to the hardy heritage birds with the good tight combs, the Australorp and the Wyandotte and the Rock, and you let the top egg numbers go, because a hen that lays through January beats a hen that quits on you in December. Second, do you want to hatch your own chicks someday and stop buying birds? Then you want a heritage hen that'll still go broody and sit a clutch, a rock, or an Australorp, and not a hybrid, because the hybrid won't breed true and mostly won't sit anyhow. Third, what do you want more, the most eggs right now or a useful bird for years? If it's eggs, all the eggs, quick and easy, the ISA brown and the golden comet are your birds, and you plan to swap them out. If it's a steady, tough hen you'll keep for a good long while, you're back on the heritage side of the list. Answer those 3 honest, and the right 2 or 3 birds fall out of the 7 near on their own. And one practical word, since folks always ask it. Yes, you can keep several of these breeds together in one flock, and there's good reason to. A mixed flock spreads your risk. The Leghorn and the Comet keep the summer basket full. The Australorp and the Wyandotte carry you through the cold, and you're never left staring at an empty carton because one breed hit its off-season. Just know they'll sort out a pecking order the first week or 2, and a big calm rock and a quick nervous Leghorn will find their places soon enough, as long as you give them room and feeder space enough that nobody's standing guard over the trough. Crowding is what turns a settling in into a real squabble. Give them room, and they'll settle. So let me stop and pull the honest thread through all 7, because it's the thread that matters more than any single number. I'll admit something on myself here. Years back, when I was younger and greener, I ordered a dozen of the fanciest heritage birds in the whole catalog, paid a pretty penny for the rare names and the pretty feathers, and I got maybe 6 eggs a week between the whole lot of them once the days went short. Pretty as a painting, useless as a February layer. That's the mistake I'm trying to save you, and it's the mistake the catalog picture is built to sell you. Here's the truth of it. The hybrids, Wisconsin's, the ISA Brown and the Golden Comet, give you the most eggs the fastest, for the least trouble, and ask you to replace them sooner. The heritage and dual-purpose birds, the Australorp, the Red, the Rock, and the Wyandotte, give you fewer eggs, but more years, more hardiness, a bird worth something at the end, and the chance to hatch your own replacements. And the Leghorn sits off on her own as the thriftiest of all, the most egg for the least feed, if you can forgive her nerves. There's no single best bird on this list. There's only the best bird for your winter, your feed bill, and what you actually want out of the deal. And that big number on the front of this, the 364, now you know where it really comes from, and you know what to do with it. It's a real record from a real hen a long time ago. It is not a promise. A good hen of these breeds, kept well, gives you somewhere between 200 and 320 eggs in a year, and that is a full basket by any honest measure. Don't chase the record. Chase the bird that keeps laying when it's cold and dark, and the record chasers have all gone quiet. There's a keeper I think of, an old-timer I'll call Delvin Reno, farmed a hard, high patch over in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, where the winters come early and stay late. He gave up on the fancy high-count birds years ago and settled on a mixed flock of Australorps and Wyandottes, the calm, cold, hardy sort. And he told me he gets fewer eggs on paper than his neighbor with the hybrids, but he gets them every month of the year, and he hasn't bought a replacement bird in longer than he can remember because his hens hatch their own. That's not the biggest number. That's the steadiest one. And on a small place, steady beats big most every time. Whatever you choose, choose it for your ground and not for the picture. Match the bird to your climate, your space, and what you want out of her. And check with your local extension office or a good keeper near you for what handles your particular winters and summers, because a January in Georgia and a January in Minnesota are 2 different animals, and the hen can't read a map. Start with 3 or 4 of whichever one fits your place. Keep them well. Clean water, dry shelter, room to scratch, and let them fill the basket before you go scaling up. If this saved you from a catalog mistake, give it a like. It helps this reach the next person about to order the wrong bird off a pretty picture. And tell me down in the comments how cold your winters run and what you're keeping now, and I'll tell you which of these 7 I'd put in your coop. I read every one. Start with the right bird for your place. Keep her well, and let her earn her keep. I'll see you in the next one.